Give me 1 second. Hang on. Let me fix this. This fucking Zoom thing, man.
It's all good, man. It's
I
all
don't know.
good, man. Like, it's funny is that I'm listening to other podcasts. It's like, and we're talking like high level professional. They have like separate people with separate jobs working on this podcast,
Yeah.
and they're having trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you listened to the one with Brendan Schaub and Brian Callen.
Fighter and the Kid.
Yes, Fighter and the Kid.
Yeah.
Dude, they have a lot of issues, and that's a very popular podcast. And
Yeah.
like, because they'll call people like they'll FaceTime people with their iPad and stuff. It's like cutting in and out, cutting in and out, and after stuff that they're saying is like going nowhere. And so, if they're having issues and they're able to like make do, I think this is pretty good too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we're on the right path here, it seems. It's
Yeah.
something. I mean, I got my portable setup now. I got a decent microphone. It's kind of a slight echo, but I'll try to fix it later if I can. But how the fuck are you, man? What the fuck is happening? We haven't caught up in like at least on the pod, we haven't caught up in a month.
Yeah, it's been a rough, crazy month, man. You know, a lot of things happened. Start off by saying that I initially almost lost my first job. You know, like my IT job. I work as a systems administrator. Wait, are we recording?
Yeah.
Oh shit. So now I almost lost that job because of cutbacks and everything. You know, it's a construction company, it's a development company, but for the most part, they need their main source of income or renters that work at people who rent apartments, and they weren't coming in. Not because they didn't want to, but because they were just afraid.
Yeah.
And so, you know, my hours were severely cut. I almost got furloughed, but you know, my hours were severely cut. And then that's what led to me to work a lot more as a nurse. And then those of you, you know, who are listening, you guys know I got sick. And it was difficult. Sorry about that, guys. Somebody's riding an ATV outside.
Oh yeah, it's been happening over here. Maybe it's the same guy.
Oh shit, probably.
He made it all the way over.
Yeah. It's probably Ernie Reyes Jr., you know, that guy. Yo, man, hold on. We need to talk about that shit. This is a lot of stuff we need to talk about. But
yeah, focus on you.
But for the most part, I'm okay. You know, I feel a lot better. You know, I'm grateful. There's a lot of people out there who weren't, unfortunately, as lucky as I was. So, you know, we try to do our best to maintain protocol, maintain the proper care, self-care, but also at the same time, what we want to do is we want to just enjoy life. And we do this podcast. I'm doing this podcast to just kind of show everybody, hey, listen, not everything is lost. You know, we could still have the same things that we used to have, just at a different pace, man. And you know, today I was watching UFC Countdown with Justin Gaethje and Tony Ferguson.
Is that really going on in like a few days? Is that really?
Yeah,
like,
dude. No, we got to talk about it, man.
It's fucking Fight Island. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, pretty much, you know, like I felt like, you know, this is the best I felt after I got sick in a long, long time. And yeah, I'm just glad to be back, man. What about you? How you been? I know you're in Brooklyn right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been a situation where I had to sort of isolate away from my family to keep them safe because everybody's just sort of on top of each other. Mm-hmm. And pretty much the entire house is sick. So I haven't really been home in this is week 7 now. So, I mean, I even bought this microphone for this type of purpose specifically so I can, you know, keep going on the run. Cause you got to grind. I think a part of it is just like mentally, you got to stick with a lot of stuff and, that you do on a regular basis to maintain some kind of normalcy. Yeah. And we're all in it, man. It's not just the virus that doesn't sort of discriminate against who gets it. Obviously you're in your 30s versus like my grandfather who's in his 80s. Like, yeah, they thought that he was the prime person to be able to get it. And technically you got it first. So it's like a lot of the stuff that we know is sort of out the window. So everybody is waiting for that next thing. And, you know, I don't want to get into the politics of it, but it's important that I let everybody know that we're all in this. It sucks for all of us in some way, shape, or form. But
there's so many things happening right now, man. There's people on one side of the spectrum, people are terrified to leave their homes. On the other side of the spectrum, there are people protesting out there that they want their own lives back, you know. And it's just like I had this argument with one of my coworkers actually, because she's all about no, they need to stay home. That's it, and then end of story. Which I get, but it's like the thing is like, okay, if you have the luxury of working from home, or if you have the luxury of going to work, you cannot speak for someone who doesn't have that anymore and has to get on the unemployment line. And it's like, or or just doesn't have that. They just lost their jobs. It's a very sensitive topic, and
this is a very good time to practice compassion. Let me say that.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Because you have to understand from everyone's point of view why they're doing that. Why? I mean, the people who have been working 80-hour weeks, or to the people who haven't been able to put food on their table for their kids because they haven't gotten their unemployment checks yet. They haven't gotten, because mind you, unemployment line, first of all, because I had to go check, right? It's a 5-hour wait. Forget phone calls. It's a 5-hour physical wait. Go ahead, see if you can do that. See if you can still do that and still maintain social distancing. Those places are packed. And so it's just to say nonchalantly, oh, just go get unemployment, collect your checks. Yeah, $1,200 is going to last you. It's not. It's a sensitive time for everybody. We need to show compassion. We need to understand why they're doing what they're doing. And the tides are turning. The tides are definitely turning. And not to be funny about this, but I knew the tides were turning when I went to Stop and Shop and saw toilet paper. I'm not joking, dude.
I mean, that was the first thing. I went on like a lunch break or something to get. I was just like, let me just get a few things. I'm gonna like bake a cake. It's like, my friend's birthday, so we wanted to get a cake and stuff. And I'm like putting stuff together, and then everything was just empty. I was like, I didn't believe it until I saw it, and I was like, holy shit,
it was, dude.
Fucking gone.
Everything was gone. And it's not even just like toilet paper, but like food. Produce gone, meat gone, even plant-based meat gone. All of that stuff was just empty, dude. Like I went to 3 Stop and Shops. I went to your Stop and Shop, the one in Clifton. I went to the one in West Caldwell, and I went all the way out to the one in Parsippany, and that's where I found I found some supplies there. But man, it's we're all going to make it. The tides are turning. It's starting to get back to normal. They opened up public parks again. It's only uphill. I'm sorry, it's only downhill from here, I feel. But we need to still be vigilant, and we need to still maintain the same rules that we had before, because we're not out of the woods just yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff to talk about in terms of Muay Thai, MMA, memes, all that stuff, man. But we kind of brushed on that topic earlier, but you don't believe
no
about that
5G.
pretty much. But
what
you don't think this fight is gonna happen?
I don't fucking know, man. Like I haven't been paying attention.
It was happening. Yeah,
I kind of knew it was happening. I remember them like sort of talking about it, and they're like last minute replacement, and then I just keep hearing like Fight Island, and because of the rate that everything keeps getting canceled after getting rescheduled, it's hard to take anything that seriously, because it's all this big like internal struggle, and literally the only sport that's trying to fight its way back to just make. And then I'm seeing individual fighters that I follow in their Instagrams of like, oh, I can't wait a few days, I'm gonna fight. Like Angela Hill is ready to fight Claudia Gadelha, right? And
that's gonna be a fight.
It will be great. I'm still skeptical. I don't know how the weigh-ins like.
I'm optimistic. I feel like this is going to be a plus for everybody. It's interesting because I'm fasting right now. For those of you who don't probably know, it's Ramadan. Ramadan Mubarak to anyone out there who's listening who happens to be Muslim or happens to be fasting. So that means no water, no food during the day. And but that's not just that either. It's just anything that gives you pleasure, you can't do it. So yeah, don't laugh, dude. I mean, like, no memes, no music, none of that fun stuff. You know what I'm talking about. But I was watching the UFC countdown, and I saw Claudia Gadeja and Angela Hill talking about their bouts, man. And Angela Hill has improved leaps and bounds since her last bout, and I really am looking forward to that scrap. But I'm really, really interested as to how this is going to play out and what's going on through Tony Ferguson's mind right now. This is a man who he's an enigma, dude. He's been messed over many times by the UFC.
He still made weight though.
He made weight. He proved his point. He's good right now. But like, what has to be going through his mind? Thinking, man, here I am again. I was supposed to fight Khabib for the fourth time, and that was the fifth time, fourth time. I don't even know anymore.
Fifth time, I think.
But
yeah.
It didn't even happen, and now I'm fighting another man. If I lose this fight, it's all gone down the drain. If I win, am I guaranteed a shot at Khabib? Technically, on paper, probably is. But to just be in that mental state of mind, knowing that, man, this is for the interim title. Did you know that?
You know how I feel about interim titles, man. Like,
yeah, I know, but we have to understand it's needed. The thing is, it really is needed in a division like this for
it's
situations
not.
like
it's
this.
Really not, dude. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, because this will be his second one.
This will be Tony's
Tony wins,
second
interim title. What the hell is the point at that? Like, it's not.
Yeah, the thing is, if it wasn't
there's no
for
like
the
championship bonus. It doesn't affect like it's not going to help sell the fight that much. Like, there's no way.
It won't. Actually, what's selling the fight, I believe, is Justin Gaethje. Believe it or not. Actually, think it's him that's selling the fight. If it wasn't for the coronavirus and if it wasn't for the pandemic that's stopping Khabib from entering, this fight, because Khabib also said that even if it wasn't for the coronavirus, he wouldn't have fought Tony anyway because he's fasting. It's happening during Ramadan, and the UFC didn't like that answer at all. They were about to strip him of the title. They would have. I honestly believe they would have, but the fallback was
Dana White's petty like that.
Dana White is definitely petty like that. He would have definitely done it too. He would have, because he knows the fight to make, the real money fight to make is Tony Ferguson versus Conor. That's the real fight. That'll generate millions, way more than Khabib Conor or Khabib Tony. It would.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think the trilogy fight would make way more. I think would sell way more.
Nate and no,
absolutely. I think that would absolutely outsell Tony because people know who Nate Diaz is as being the first guy in the UFC to take him out.
True.
So up until that point, he was untouchable, and that's how. And Nate Diaz and the Diaz brothers have a longer, prolific history than Tony Ferguson does. Like, Tony Ferguson has done great things, and as we're talking about, I don't know if I want to call it clout or whatever, but the Diaz brothers, the Diaz name carries a lot more weight than Tony Ferguson was. I mean, shit, I didn't know about Tony Ferguson until a couple of years ago. And the Diaz brothers have been around so fucking long that old school fans mixed with some of the new ones, plus also the weight of it's 1-1 right now. We want to see that trilogy fight. You can easily sell that fight. Tony Ferguson, I'm excited for that fight. For the next person, they're not going to know who Tony Ferguson is.
I think personally, Nate Diaz and Conor, that train has passed. I just feel like I disagree. I think the best fight, the biggest fight at lightweight to make would be Tony Ferguson versus Conor McGregor. And Tony's going to prove why. One second. I'm sorry. Oh.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. There
it is. All right, I'm back. So, with that being said, Tony has his state of mind for this fight. Justin Gaethje, I found this out actually. So they kind of gave him the runaround, which isn't new in the UFC. They told him that he was going to fight Tony Ferguson. So he starts getting geared up and ready to fight Tony Ferguson on, I believe it was May 9th. March March 24th, I think it was. So then they pull that card, right? So he gets ready, then they pull the card. So he's like, fine, forget it. I guess I'm not fighting anyway, right? Then a week later, they tell him, nope, you're still going to fight. And this is going to be the date, May 9th. And they give him this option. It's like, you have to fight, save this card. So he's kind of like been, he's struggling to find a camp, or not find a camp, but like do the camp, make weight on time, and still be able to, get ready to perform on fight night. So it's a very interesting state of mind for all fighters on this card. But if I were to make a prediction as to who was going to win, I'm going to go with Tony Ferguson on this one. Fate just needs to have fate. Just like,
do we even entertain the what if at this point? Like, the thing, I'm still thinking that all these fights are fantasy land, and like it's all wishful thinking, because that last second cancellation is a bitch, and it's going to happen again.
I'm optimistic about this one. I like I said, fate needs Tony Ferguson to win this, because if Tony Ferguson doesn't win this and Justin Gaethje wins, it would be like there's so much going down the drain now at this point, because the whole merit of Khabib versus Tony is gone now.
Yeah, undefeated versus undefeated.
Yeah, it's gone. So we lose a huge money fight. So fate needs Tony Ferguson to win. That's the only fight that's the only fight that really I am truly like concerned about. I almost bought my first pay-per-view because of this fight. I almost bought it, but the only reason I didn't was because I just got ESPN Plus, so I'm kind of like dabbling along with it. I got the ESPN Plus as well as the Disney Plus and Hulu. I only got it because of
like a quarantine thing that's happening.
Yeah. Well, I only got it because I wanted to watch Star Wars, the Clone Wars. I'm a huge fan. So as you can tell, Cal Kestis right over here. Yeah, Jedi Fallen Order, the greatest, the second greatest game on the PS4 I ever played.
It's all right.
Well, I love that game, and they're making part 2 and part 3. There is a trilogy coming, folks. Get ready.
It's not going to touch the numbers Animal Crossing has. Sorry, dude. Like, you ain't got shit on Animal Crossing right now.
Animal Crossing it is. I mean,
I was joking. I was like half joking about the release, being excited for the release of it, and then it finally dropped, and like I started picking it up, and then I haven't put it down. Like I don't know if it's quarantine or whatever, like it's happening, but I can tell you that I put way too many hours into that game, and it's kind of nuts how much I've really invested into that. And I was half joking about it, but I had so many different people that were really invested heavily into the series, and they're like, no, this game is going to be a fucking game changer.
And like we talked about this actually at my job. I used to work at some of my old coworkers from games that were talking about the release of Animal Crossing and just what an impact the last Animal Crossing had. And so it's like this was only going to be better and bigger. So, and I have a Nintendo Switch. I just don't have Animal Crossing. I instead opted to get Astral Chain, which is a action RPG that I really love. For those of you who are listening, check it out. If you guys are into that kind of stuff, it's mechs. I love that kind of stuff. But yeah, question for you, because like you have all these set up, items and whatnot. I've been actually going like I try to go to Micro Center. Actually, I did go to Micro Center today in Batterson. There's a huge wait line. First of all, like you can't even get in. I thought
that's kind of hilarious. Yeah,
but it doesn't make sense though, right? Like, why would there be a line at Micro Center?
Why are they open?
That's another question. I mean, they are, but like the fact that they had a line didn't make any sense to me. I'm like, all right, I'm waiting in line. So
what essential goods do they sell?
I think it's because a lot of people are working from home. Maybe perhaps now they
because you only one of the few physical locations, and Best Buy is probably closed too. So
yeah.
So still, that's
it was a madhouse. And all I was trying to find was an all white gaming desk chair, gaming chair. I wanted to get an all white one, and of course, no, actually, I was looking for a monitor. So like, I'm looking at like, Look, I like Alienware. I like their monitors. I think it's so cool. I like the whole Tron S, especially the new one that just came out, the 34. I don't like the price, but I mean, I like the monitor itself. It's like
They're okay.
$1,400.
I've gone through my fair share of monitors, and like they're not bad. Just know
Mm-hmm.
what you're buying into. It's
Yeah,
like one specific thing, and then if it doesn't hold its weight in other categories, you can't be surprised. Like
yeah.
you get what you pay for kind of deal. But they're not
Oh
bad
yeah.
for what it's worth. Like I've
No.
had one Alienware gaming one. It was pretty good at the time. It was like 120 hertz, like 27-inch monitor, but
Okay.
and it did what it had to do. I didn't
This
expect it
one
to be good
is.
with like color work. You know what I
Oh
mean?
man,
Like,
I saw this one and I was mind blown. 34. Let's see, it's
is
34
it
and a
ultra
half
wide or
inches.
is it just regular like?
No, it's 34 and a half inches wide. So I don't know if that's not ultra wide. Ultra wide is like 49 inches, I want to say.
No, it just
Um,
depends on the ratio. Like it depends on if you're
okay.
gonna have regular old 4K or if you're gonna have like an ultra wide resolution. Like
It's
they
regular
measure
4K.
width diagonally.
Okay. It's just
So
a
it could be 34
4K.
ultra wide or it's just 4K. Okay. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So you get this is like 144 hertz or
4K.
anything.
Yeah. But the thing is, I was really disappointed in this was the fact that it only had USB 2.0.
You use those things?
Well, yeah. I mean, I want to be able to, because here's the thing: I'm going to be connecting it to my laptop as well as my PS5, which is the only reason why I'm getting it. So
I
that's the only
guess.
reason why I wanted to. Yeah, like
I don't think the
well, that
PS5 is
was
going
the
to
option,
benefit
right?
from the. I don't think it's going to benefit from 144 hertz, but I get, I get it. I guess. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
At what point do we just
I
call it a
haven't made a
PC in
decision yet.
in a shiny box? Like, at what point is it just a computer? Like,
Oh,
when do
that's
we get
true.
rid of this barrier of like cheaper computers with Sony's brand name on it? I don't know. That's so funky to me, and especially the fact that you can play Xbox games on PC. Like, we're already sort of blurring some of the dividing lines here. It seems silly
Mhm.
that PS4 would
It's
have
gonna.
exclusives or whatever.
This is the last one for sure for Sony, I believe. But I just wanted to get it because of the simple fact that I know there's a lot of exclusives coming out on the PlayStation 5 that I'm really, really looking forward to. But yeah, I went into Micro Center and I saw things that I like. I knew that if you were there with me, you could probably have explained everything that I was looking at. Like, no, that's not even worth it. Just put that shit back down. Slap it out
Probably.
of my hand if that
Now, you mean
probably.
now that you're talking about it, it seems like you might have overpaid for something you won't be able to take full advantage of.
Dude, I didn't pay for anything because I didn't buy anything.
There you
But
go.
I went in there. I went in there to just pretty much look, and I was like, you know what? But I was just so
You know they have a
astounded
website, right?
over the fact that they have a website, yeah. But I like going in and looking too, because just to see, what they were, what they had. And believe it
Terrible
or not,
timing.
even though there was a line outside, there were not many people inside, which didn't make any sense. Because when
That's
I
a good
got
thing.
inside, yeah, well, I mean, I guess everybody is a little bit,
Social
on edge
distancing,
right
man.
now.
I'm
Social
still
distance. Oh,
amazed that
yeah,
they're
yeah.
open. I don't understand. I don't know.
They
I got to
were. They
figure
were open. They were
that
open for
blows my
sure,
mind.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't like I
I'm
got
gonna
this
need your
mic
help for sure.
through yeah, I got you. I got this microphone through B&H actually.
Okay.
I had some weird issue with like an eBay seller, which is why this was so delayed. This probably should have happened like a week ago, but I had ordered a microphone through eBay,
Yeah.
but their correspondence is like Italy. So the time difference along with their general incompetence, the microphone went to the wrong house. I got the wrong product and now they're like, but can you ship it back to? I'm like, no, I don't have access to a printer or the post office. I'm not going in there. Fuck you. Like you fucked up. Give my money back.
Yeah.
End of that. And then H
Jesus.
is like, all right, we'll see you in 2 days. And I was like, oh, well, I should have just done that in the first place. But yeah, I mean, May Day, we're still boycotting Amazon. So I'm trying to avoid all that at the same time while I'm also apartment hunting. It's a weird day, man. It's a weird, like,
Mhm.
there's a lot happened since the last time we at least spoke on the podcast. And
Wait,
we caught
why
up a
are you
little bit
boycotting Amazon? Why are you boycotting Amazon?
because they're still shitty to their employees and it's not getting any better and they're not helping or providing the right equipment for their current workers and then trying to hire more people on top of that, docking their pay. And, the same thing with like Whole Foods, all their subsidiaries or all the companies they've like acquired, Twitch included. Whole Foods. What's their delivery service? Like
I don't
it's
go to
all
Whole Foods, but
yeah, but like yeah, just once they get acquired, they could do whatever the fuck they want and just throw all their employees under the bus, like, and then be like, oh, like we're
shit.
doing fine and it's great. It's like, no, they're suffering too because they've also been hit, but they don't want to admit it. So, they're making the situation for the workers that are still in there even shittier. And May Day is just a general day to boycott them anyway, but I'm just doing my part.
I understand. To be fair, I have ordered stuff off of Amazon.
This guy
since the quarantine started.
Buys Alienware, orders from Amazon. It's crazy. He's on a roll, folks.
I have not bought any Alienware. I don't have that kind of money to drop $1,400 on a monitor. Thank you very much.
Would have been a poor choice at that price cost. At that price.
Yeah, I was very, very hesitant. I was like, man,
you have Samsung and LG, which are essentially the same companies. Yeah, Samsung, LG, and then sometimes Dell, and then Asus is somewhere.
Dell has a good one. Yeah, Dell has a very good one too for $450. In fact, I don't know the specs on it too much. I know that it has DP. So
DP is important.
Yeah, come on, dude.
It is, dude. It has it's the best bandwidth. You get the best quality. It's the fastest. It's the most widely used in all video cards. You tell me DP is not important?
What about DP is very important, but my thing is, can you do DP to HDMI?
Then because the PS5. Why wouldn't the PS5 just have DP? Why wouldn't they just keep up with the times? It's like iPhone's not having USB-C. That's like the MacBook has it, the iPad Pro has it, all USB-C. What the?
Yeah.
Come on, dog.
Yeah. Well, hold on. MacBooks don't have DP.
No, but they have USB-C. My point is to have like one universal thing that's widely accepted or like universally accepted across platforms. Like you want to have some kind of standard. Yeah, USB-C. They have it on a MacBook and an iPad, but they don't do it on the phone. That drives me nuts. That shit drives me nuts that I need a separate charger for all this bullshit.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's great to have that kind of privilege. Let me preface this by saying, or I guess we're in the thick of it now, but it's a privilege to be able to complain about not having USB-C on everything. Because even this microphone, by the way, shout out to Audio Technica. It is a
former Apple employee going off right now.
USB-C, by the way. But USB-C charging. I get USB-C plugs here. Even this camera that it's going to be on later, USB-C. My fucking Switch, the Switch is USB-C. I mean,
yeah.
And then my iPhone's like, oh, what about the Lightning port? Like,
I think it's the next one. Who knows? I'm not.
I don't know though. Like HDMI is not that impressive that they shouldn't just adapt to DP, especially if it is a computer and it's a small form factor like PC. There's a whole subreddit dedicated to people that jam pack way better specs into a small form factor, and it costs more, but you get more quality and longevity out of that than you would with a PS4 or 5.
Okay.
And you can repair yourself if you're up to it, or you can have a warranty. Like it's the same deal. That's the thing.
That's the thing. It's like the console gamer within me has always been fascinated by console.
I know you're stuck in it. I get it. I feel for you. Again, we're practicing compassion this week.
I mean, well, thank you for that. It's just the fact that I have talked to many people about this too. This is the last one, man. I'm not getting another console after PS5. This will be the one that I end it all with.
I mean, that's why I have a Switch. It's all the exclusives. But again, it's also not comparable. It's just, a big ass Game Boy, right? Like
it's just basically a portable thing. That's it. It's so funny too. Like since I got my full-time back, they actually gave me a few things that I didn't even know we had. Like they gave me a wall mounter for my Nintendo Switch. I didn't even know we had that shit at work.
What? I mean, if you don't need it, I'll take it. Shit. Wall mount the shit. There's only one.
I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use this one. I'm definitely using this one because the plan is to create my setup space when I move out. We're both pretty much on the move right now. Where are you looking for apartments at? Brooklyn?
Hey, we'll keep that offline. If you don't say it like I want people to know where I live and shit, dog. Although the possibilities open up
Shit,
with the,
okay.
considering that everything else is falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
I have way more options than I thought I did. But I've had a bunch of offers. We could talk about this separately. I don't want to bore all the people that are wondering about this Fight Island thing going on. Have they
Look, man, the
disclosed the
Fight
location
Island
of
is
Fight Island?
real. Yeah, well, I don't know it too well actually. I don't know exactly where this Fight Island is. I just know that it's happening,
That's code for
and it is.
exactly where it's happening.
It's
But you're
it's
not
it's
sure.
sanctioned. It's sanctioned. That's for
Amazing.
sure.
Probably
There's a
Florida.
staff. There's medical staff. Yeah, it is Florida.
It's probably
Sure.
Florida.
Yeah, it's Key West. But there's sanctioned medical staff. There is like ticketing booths. There's seating apparently.
Ridiculous.
There's a training center. There is I believe just the necessities, the
Do
essentials.
the pad holders hold are you being hazmat suits? Like how does this
I
even
have
translate?
no idea.
That's the only
Everybody's taking a
logical
risk.
way. Like you have to have a face shield while holding pads. Everyone's gonna be sweating ass in like summer.
Everybody's
Getting ready for
taking a
beach
risk.
season. Everybody's sweating ass
Yeah.
and wearing masks.
Everybody is just we're all taking a risk here and stuff like that, but it's this will be the first step, like I was listening to a podcast and somebody said that the UFC is the first experiment in all of this. If this goes well and this sells, damn well the NFL is going to follow right after, or the NBA is going to follow right after.
So that's what the second wave is going to look like.
And probably, the
Fans
second
in the
wave,
stands holding hands.
So we keep talking about the second wave, right? The
Come
second
get
wave
your mans.
is the second wave is
People make
expected to
demands.
hit, expected but not guaranteed to hit September, October wise. Okay. Now this is only because of the fact that they feel like that's during the time when like the weather starts to change dramatically. It'll start to go from 90 degrees humidity.
No, Tennessee
to
and Georgia already got hit. I know Tennessee opened up a couple of days ago along with Georgia, and they've been opening up malls and shit, and they've already gotten hit.
Yeah.
They've seen their highest numbers since, they've seen their highest numbers after being able to reopen. So the malls open up and everything, and then all of a sudden they see this giant spike of the highest numbers they've ever seen before because everybody was so like, let's all dive in and see what happens. So we're all kind of on the outside of like, you know what's going to happen. Like it's not.
Yeah. But like we have to ask ourselves this too: like, were any of those people practicing the protocol? I don't think any of them were. That's what I'm saying.
It looked like Black Friday. Black Friday at Walmart.
So if you're going to be because keep in mind, there's still people taking the subway to go to work. They're not practicing social distancing either in New York. They're not. They can't. They can't afford to. I don't think so. At least.
No.
When that subway opens up,
it's mostly empty, but it's still kind of really gross.
It's still there. They're still there. I have a few colleagues actually that are going into New York to do some work and stuff, and it's still jam-packed in some of those trains sometimes. And I bet you today, as beautiful as it is, there were people probably out and about going through, public transportation to go to New York right now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So I guess the only thing is the fact that, we wait and see exactly how badly this second wave really is for us, it's expected to hit, but is it expected to be worse as the first wave? That's, in my opinion, I don't think it will be, because the first wave is when we were not really prepared. We were all just like, what the hell is going on here? Now that we know what to expect, now we know that, what the symptoms are and, how it makes everybody feel, we should be better off and better prepared for this, and therefore be able to handle it a lot better. And businesses can open up again. And, we can take 2 more steps going towards being normal again.
But in the meanwhile, stay the fuck at home.
If you can.
Stay at home, dude, man. Like,
and not everybody can do that though. That's the thing. We have to understand, like, not everybody has that capability to stay at home. My neighbor works at Midas, the mechanic shop.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, he can't stay at home. He even said, he goes, I hate going into work, but I gotta go. Like, yeah.
It's essential. Wild, man.
I get it. But
yeah, I think shit. We can go on we can go on for hours, man. Like the thing is, at the end of it, it's gonna boil us down to the stuff that really matters. And it's a lot of self-training and self-motivating and being able to like push yourself to just maintain some level of normalcy, and it's not going to be okay for a
Very
while.
true.
And yeah, it's going to suck. You got to live in it. At some point it has to get better. Once you hit bottom, there's only up to look up,
Go up. And that's a very interesting point you bring up, because a lot of people actually reached out to me personally, and I'm flattered that they did. Thank you guys for trusting in me to talk to me about your problems. And they all said the same thing. It's like, yo, Klyde, I'm losing motivation, or Klyde, I'm just depressed, man. And how do you get out of this funk? What did you do? And and this is what I told them. It goes like, and I heard this from someone else. This is a pretty motivational speech. It was like, if you're starting, the first task that you do in the day when you wake up is make your bed.
It's a military thing, I think.
Yeah. If you get up in the morning, make your bed. Get up early as you normally would, as if this was a normal Monday. Get up at 8 a.m., get up at 7 a.m., get up at 6 a.m. Get up and make your bed. Because if you do that, you accomplish the first task of the day, right? Once you accomplish the first task of the day, if you have the time, do a physical exercise or activity to just get yourself into that mode of, okay, I'm in this quarantine, but it doesn't mean that I have to just waste my time. Now, not everybody, if you want to just, self-reflect, if you need that time to just
do what's right by you,
that's okay too. Everybody is dealing with this in their own way. Just because you're not learning a new language or learning programming or there's people out there. I know somebody who has the basics of SQL down so far. And she's
I'm learning Tagalog right now, actually. So
look at that. You know what I'm saying? That's very productive. And not everybody's going to be able to do that, and that's okay.
But I will say it hasn't been consistent, because I do take those days, and I understand the goal is not necessarily to just jam pack productivity. It's based on that feel of like, and our understanding of our, at least in Western culture, in terms of how we operate, we work ourselves to the bone. We're not getting enough sleep, and all of a sudden we have all this time to reset, have sleep, and get to the things that matter. And for me, I always jam pack productivity. I burn the candle at both ends. I am used to having a very rigorous to-do list and a crazy schedule and all this and that. And I maintain some version of that, but there's going to be some days where I'm totally out of it. Like the stress of all this stuff happening and everything, just know that part is also okay. You want to be super productive and crazy and do all these things and make all these, projects and whatever it is, great, do it. If the next day you don't want to do anything, fucking don't do anything. Live your life, dude.
Yeah. If you want to just self-reflect, or if you just want to take your time and just process the whole thing that's happening to you, that's okay. But if you also want to get up and work out and make your bed and try to handle the day as if it's a new task for you, do so. Make a planner, write things down, write goals down that you need to accomplish in that day. And once you get them done, just know that you did something productive with your time, and there's other stuff that you can do as well. And that's what I told a lot of these people, a couple of the guys that reached out to me, guys who all reached out to me, and I told them, listen,
get it, crush it.
Thing, and that's so cliche though. No, I gotta be honest. Like to say, "Oh, get out there and crush your goals." Come on, man. Not everybody's gonna have that kind of motivation and shit. But just get out there and do
me talking to my trainer friends and coaches and shit. We're all in a funk, and it's pretty wild to see, because even the people that I go to for that kind of motivation, they're like, I just kind of sat on my PJs, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. And that's a lot. It's a lot to take in. But I was like, oh yeah, we're also human and have wildly inappropriate expectations for a lot of this stuff. So
and it's something that it's affecting all of us. So we can make the most of it. We can learn from this and utilize this time to make something of ourselves. And we're gonna make it, guys. This is not forever. And for those of you who are listening right now and you're in that funk, or if you feel as though you just lose the motivation to do anything, or you're just anxious because you haven't left the home in 6 weeks, just know that you're not alone in this. there are other people going through the same thing. And if you need to reach out to anybody, if you just need to vent, you guys can reach out to me, Roman, if you would like to. I mean, you can talk to them as well. Talking helps. It's helped me, man. Like, I had to isolate myself for like 7 days. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Making sure that I got nobody sick. I haven't seen my two little, angry little cubs in a long, long, long time. My nephews. Those of you who are wondering, I don't have any kids.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no. They're my boyos. Yep. But I haven't seen them. Like it's tough. And those of you who are out there who are going through the same thing, we're struggling. But we have to realize that if we give up and if it's okay to self-wallow, but it's not okay to just give up completely and think this is it. I'm not going to ever get out of this funk, and no one ever is. And I'm just going to spread negativity now. That's not okay, because there are other people who are just holding on by a thin line, and all it takes is somebody that they thought that who had it all together to just break down completely.
Yeah.
And it could really, really take a toll on you, man. Really take a toll on you. So just know that if you guys need help, or if you guys just want to talk, or just vent, or just need something to
we're here, man.
Get off your chest,
we're
here. Roman's great listener. I try to listen to. I'll send you memes. Yeah, there you go, man. What
I'll
a time
Photoshop your
me,
face
man.
onto something,
Yeah, holy shit, man. It's like so much shit has happened, man. And it was like, I remember there was a meme. Kim Jong-un almost died. Aliens or UFOs were rediscovered. The whole world was in a pandemic. Kobe Bryant died, and it was not even May yet. And I was like, holy shit.
Thanks, Bill Gates. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not getting
5G.
Conspiracy
5G, man.
shit.
Yeah, man. Here we go.
But that's it,
and actually, there's no point in talking about that whole 5G thing. I hope you guys would understand that.
Yeah, I'm not going to go there just for that.
Yeah,
nope.
Yeah, it's fine, guys. You guys don't.
It's out there. You got the internet. Google DP.
Yeah.
For the next episode, we'll talk probably in a lighter tone.
Yeah, for sure. We just wanted to just get this episode up because we wanted to know that we were thinking about you guys, and we wanted to keep you guys updated and with another episode, and just letting you know that we're not going to stop doing what we like, because life doesn't stop. We would like to continue as though we adapt, and we want you guys to understand that as well. And Roman, was there anything else you wanted to say?
Actually, I do have a plug before I actually go.
Okay.
So, actually, Klyde, you were part of this project too. So, my side gig out of the many side gigs is I freelance as a photographer, and I was doing a little bit of research and seeing how other photographers are coping with this. And sometimes it's social distancing and using a zoom lens to get somebody like across the street or like down the block or whatever. And that works, only so much. And then they were entertaining the idea of doing portraits through Zoom. And as I was catching up with a lot of my personal friends and people within my network, I noticed a lot of people sort of had stories to tell. And I spent a lot of that time listening to stories and hearing them out, because sometimes you want to talk to people and you just want to get it out. You're not looking for advice. You're not looking for a solution. You just want to get it out there, because the more you don't get it out there, then you create this internal struggle, and then it just stays in there and just boils up. And that's where the problem usually starts. So I've had that time to sort of take everybody one by one and listen. And they've said, hey, like, I have a friend that has a story, and I have this so-and-so in my network that has a story. And it turned into this portrait project that I'm working on. Klyde's been a part of it. We have a couple healthcare workers that are part of it. And the idea is now healthcare workers within my network that have experience with COVID-19, either as a frontline worker, directly or indirectly, or how it's affected their day to day. Like, I want to hear the story. I want to know about it. I have, I've been interviewing people one by one and listening in to their experiences. And it's really heavy. And it's one of the first days that I realized, I'm like, holy shit, I had to take a couple of days to stop interviewing people. I put like a gap because I was starting to, I broke down because there's some of these stories that they literally hit close to home, because I've had friends I didn't know from the gym work at the same hospital that my grandfather's at. And to hear these stories about, like, they ran out of room because like they rented a room in the truck, so they keep bringing more trucks. So they have a tent outside of the hospital specifically for dead bodies. And I stopped everything, like my whole world just like, holy shit. Like I didn't expect to hear that. And also I was like, that literally the closest to home you could possibly be. But at the same time, I had to think like, okay, I gotta keep this project going. I gotta take a break, but I gotta keep this project going. So like I have, I'm gonna interview as many people as I can to sort of get their stories, and I'll space them out appropriately because I might have taken, I might have bitten more than I could chew at the time. But I've got nothing but support, and everybody has been super grateful for being able to share their stories, and it's a mixed batch. We've got nurses, and Danny's a paramedic, medical assistants. We're going to have some doctors on, and it's just a wide spread of people that are just within my network because it's here, it's close, it's it's going to be a part of us, and it's a story for everybody that usually doesn't get heard in these situations. This is what they live on a daily basis, like 60, 70, 80 hours a week, all of a sudden. Or even if it wasn't a part of their day to day, now it is. Like we don't have a choice. We're all in it. And that's the whole thing. I want to bring some of that humanity back. And a lot of that is through my personal medium of, packaging it nicely and, doing what I can to just spread awareness about it, or, have these stories be told, because without them, like, no legacy, no history, man. So that was my shameless plug for my project. It's untitled.
Thank you for doing that.
Untitled Zoom. Yeah. Got it, man. Untitled Zoom Portraits. I don't have a working title for it yet because I'm still piecing everything together and scheduling interviews. So if you're listening out there and you have personal experience as a healthcare worker with COVID-19, or anybody in your network that you'd like to nominate to be able to contribute, there's no monetary, there's no GoFundMe or anything like that. I've had suggestions, but I didn't want it to sort of complicate the process. I just wanted to be able to share the story as my personal project and putting it all together. So I'm just sort of facilitating and organizing in that way. I'm not going to make any separate thing aside from maybe a page on my website, and I'll just post to my photography Instagram for everybody to see. So you get piece by piece, and then you get the big picture once I hit a certain number in mind. But yeah, Klyde, do you have anything to that?
No, just the fact that, everyone out there, again, thank you for listening. Thank you for always showing your support and just laughing. Every meme we post, every story we post, every, podcast we upload is because we love it. We enjoy it. We really like doing this stuff. We like talking about it. And, we're just two guys who have very much, similarities and not just in MMA, but just overall an outlook of life. And, during this difficult time, Roman was still able to get such a good, good thing going. I was involved in it. Thank you for having me involved in that. And I hope you guys enjoy that. And before we go, I just wanted to say, stay safe. When this is all over, I want to see you guys all back. And always get the strap. Get the strap, guys.
Never a question. And that being said, guys, drink water, watch fights. See you.
Peace.